the most common answer you get when you ask a professional drummer how they play so dang fast?
It's just practice.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't practice, but what I am saying is that you're probably practicing all wrong, and there are things you need to know if you want to have a real shot of getting there yourself. So in this video, I'm going to show you the mistakes you're making that are slowing you down, the technique you need to get around the kit as fast as Billy Cobham, and I'll give you a step-by-step exercise so you can put these ideas to work for you and get blazing fast fills around the kit. But you might be saying, hey, fills don't pay the bills. What if I just want to play pocket? Why should I even pay attention to this technique stuff? And to help you understand the answer, I need to tell you the story of my first ever drum lesson and why doing all this matters. In my first drum lesson back in the year, I was taught everything I needed to know about hand technique and how to master it, and that's exactly what I pass on to my drum hub students. But in that lesson, my teacher told me something I'll never forget. The point of having great technique is to not have to think about your technique. When great technique becomes second nature, you don't have to give it a second thought. You can get back to being in the moment, and anything you can dream up, your hands can just play for you. And that's why I want you to develop great technique on the drums. I want you to be free to enjoy the music and not have to think about all the details. If you want to do that with me, here's how to do it. In order to master this new technique, you need to understand the mistake I mentioned that you're probably making while getting around the kit. And you need to know how you can solve it. It all has to do with hinges. Now, there are 50 different hinges in the human body, but in hand technique terms, we can simplify the concept down to 4 main hinges: fingers, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. If you want to get around the drums quickly, you need to dissect what hinges are up to the task. Most drummers start playing very elbow heavy, and this has a major effect on their ability to play fast. And by the way, this is just a part of what's covered in my free Technique Fundamentals guide that will help you fix this step by step. So smaller ranges of motion and smaller muscle groups allow you to play faster. If you want to play the absolute fastest speeds possible, you'd stay extremely close to the drums and you'd use the smallest muscle groups possible. And what do you need to do to get around the drum set quickly? You need to stop drumming from your elbows. Now, fingers can play a role, especially if you have a lot of notes to play on one drum before the next. But really, today we're going to concentrate on wrist strokes. That means your wrists are the hinge for the actual strokes, and the rest of your arm, elbow, and shoulders position your hand around the kit to play different elements. But that's not all you need to do, because as Ben Franklin once said, by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. And I'm going to prepare you with a sick fill you can use around the kit, but first you need to prepare your movements around the drums. I was teaching a drum hub student this concept just a week ago, and this was the exact key that unlocked a new level of efficiency and speed around the kit for him. So stop playing like this, and instead play so that your hands are moving to the next drum as soon as they are done on the last. If you want to play fast, you don't have time to separate the strokes from the orchestration, from the movement from drum to drum. This is sticking dependent, so here's the first exercise that's really going to help you master this. The most natural way to play from drum to drum around the kit is in groupings of 3. So we're going to play right, left, right, and then left, right, left. Let's break it up first and play right, left, right on the floor tom. Now, we want to get over to the rack tom quickly, and the question is, when is the earliest time each hand can move over? The answer is the first and only left hand, and the second of the 2 rights. So as soon as your left hand plays the floor tom, it starts arcing over to the next drum. And as soon as your right hand plays its second note, it's moving as well. We're going to play the same thing but reversed on the rack tom. So the first note stays, and the second and third notes start moving back to the floor tom. Once you have that, what's the next step? Well, you're going to remove the breaks, and we're going to play right, left, right, left, right, left repeatedly from drum to drum. You can even mix up what drums you play between, depending on what your setup is. The secret here is to practice slowly so that this becomes your muscle memory, becomes second nature for you, but that introduces you to a new problem. Now that you have this exercise under your belt, you're almost ready to put it into practice. But if you don't know how to get this technique right, you won't have all the tools for the job. To get those tools, watch this video where I show you exactly what this technique is and how you can master it.